Working class beer reviews is looking at Four Loko Gold. I wanted to do this for the fans of the channel. I feel like it's a rite of passage to have. I've done Sparks, I did Camo, so why not do a Four Loko? Got my globe glass here. We'll just do it in that. 13.9% alcohol. Got a new church key. I don't know if you can see it. It says Jack's Drink Jack's Beer. Drink Jack's Beer. I don't know anything about Jack's Beer. Church key is made in USA. I don't know anything about Jack's Beer. I don't know where it came from. I don't think it's around anymore. So, oh my God. So, I bought gold because I thought it would be more like standard beer, but I think I'm very gravely mistaken. No, look at that. No head. Nothing. It's just... Goodness. Not a whole... I mean, there's information out there, but you can just go to Wikipedia. Four Loko is a line of alcoholic beverages sold by Fusion Projects of Chicago, Illinois. The original recipe included caffeine. So that's where this thing got in legal trouble. So the company's most popular beverage debuted in the United States in 2005 and is available in 49 states and 21 countries, including Ecuador, Guatemala, Paraguay, the Bahamas, Peru, Mexico, Colombia, Bolivia, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, China, Canada, and some countries in Europe. So man, South America loves, and Central America love this. The Latin community must love Four Loko. Maybe loco, you know, obviously being a Latin word for crazy. It was been the object of legal, ethical, and health concerns related to the company allegedly marketing them to underage drinkers because they're all sweet flavors, and the danger of combining alcohol and caffeine. That Sparks, I think, was one of the original. Was it? Oh, it wasn't Sparks. What was the one I did before? The other. I can't remember. I'll have to look back at the catalog. It wasn't Sparks. Nah, I can't remember the name of it. But one of those other malt liquors that was like real high in alcohol. But I think they came back out without the caffeine. So, reintroduced in December of 2010, removed the caffeine, taurine, and guarana. So essentially like Red Bull. And the malt beverage is no longer marketed as an energy drink, so they can't market it that way. Chris Hunter, Jason Freeman, and Jeff Wright after graduating from Ohio State University. So students are active members of the Kappa Sigma fraternity, and many of their original energy drink blends were created in the fraternity mansion's basement and party room. So a bunch of rich kids at Ohio State figure out how to make this. They probably were just mixing Red Bull and beer. So the entrepreneurial team designed a prototype energy beer known as Four Loko, marketed as a premium malt beverage in cherry and berry flavors. The drink contained taurine, guarana, caffeine, and wormwood. What? The supposed psychoactive ingredient in absinthe. So they're trying to make it like absinthe. Absinthe is made from wormwood. The effects of having like hallucinations and psychotic breaks has been debunked. So I think this is back before absinthe became reintroduced to a lot of places. So it had this like mystique. So I think they're trying to create their own absinthe in a way. So it is sold in 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13.9, and 14% alcohol ABV, depending on state regulations, and packaged in 23.5-ounce cans. So this is the only designation you're going to find it in. Premium malt beverage with artificial flavor, caramel color, and sucralose, which is Splenda. Great. So I guess that lowers the carbs, but it still makes it sweet. All right. So this is the gold energy drink flavor, of course. So it's supposed to taste like a Red Bull or whatever. Discontinued flavors, there's a bunch of those. They have a hemp one. Man, there's so many different flavors. I could go through them all, but it's really not a big. It's not really important. And they have a triple X limited edition line, which features other flavors. Um, and they did have 12-ounce glass bottles of Four Loko in the summer of 2011 that were 8% and 12%, and 16-ounce cans, high cone 4 packs, four Poco Loco at 8%. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit on this Wikipedia page. Good lord. So, if this is your thing, great. Um, I've had this once, and it was after having a Steel Reserve. So, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Drink for Local Brewing, La Crosse, Wisconsin, Memphis, Tennessee, under special agreement, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. City Brewing. forloco.com. It's gold. And it's got some streaming bubbles. No head. Absolutely no head. You watched it fade completely. This is not even what it's meant for. I vented the can with my Jack's Church Key. What do you smell? And it smells like Red Bull. Sweet. Artificial sweetener. You smell. You smell all the chemicals like you would in a Red Bull. I've since let go of that stuff because it's just I'm getting older. I don't want it to hurt my heart, and it kind of messes with my stomach too. So, so sweet, golly, like kind of like a chalky candy smelling. Let's take a sip. The mouthfeel is very sweet, very, very sweet. It does. It tastes like you're eating candy, like Smarties, Spree, Shock Tarts almost. It's not so sour like Shock Tarts. Yeah, it's like Smarties or Spree or bottle caps. If anybody that's getting into my age a little bit, Pixie Sticks. Oh, I'm not gonna finish this. Sorry. This will cause me psychosis just from being angry at how I'm not a fan. Look, I'm not saying it's made improperly. It's bad. It's definitely not my style, not my jam. There are the fact that there's so many different flavors and it continues being produced tells me there's a market for it. When they talk about being marketed towards underage people, I can totally see why they would like this. When I was younger, I had much more of a sweet tooth than I do now. I eat sweets from time to time. I have much more of a savory palate now, which I think is why I like beer so much. The beer is like my sweets because alcohol converts into sugar. Because when I did dry January and I didn't drink for a month, I actually started craving sweets. So obviously something happens in your body and your mind and your palate even. After the sweetness subsides, get in the very back of your tongue, you get a bit of a grainy sensation like you would when you're drinking like a beer, like a cheap beer. I don't know if this, I'm sure there's some, maybe, it says malt beverage, malt, I'm guessing there's some barley malt of some sort. And I'm sure there's corn. There's got to be something to produce that alcohol. I did this for you guys. I didn't do this for myself. I went to go pick something up and I saw this. And I'm like, well, you might as well just check it off the list there, Caleb. Because you got to give the people what they want. They want you, there's people out there that would want to see this. There. I finished the glass. Ugh. Ugh, goodness. This is made for a single purpose. We all know what it is. This is not something to contemplate. This is not something to break down or sit there and just like, not for that at all. I mean, people can do it if they want. They're going to pick apart chemicals and sweeteners and no, it's just, it has a purpose. So it is a utility in a sense. It's made for a single purpose. You can make this an ingredient in jungle juice or in a series of cocktails if you wanted to. It could be a wine expander. There you go. I'm trying to be not negative towards it. It's not for me, but it has its place. It could be used in cocktails of some sort. Could not be used in cooking. Maybe like desserts. So maybe some sort of Jello cake recipe. You can make a boozy Jello cake. Ugh, goodness. You know when they make like a cake recipe and like a packet of Jello, and when they mix it all up, and it's cake with like Jello mixed in it, like splotchy on there. This could be your liquid instead of like water or milk or whatever. Use this in your cake batter, in your Jello white cake batter mix, and your Jello mix, and maybe make a 4 Loko cake or something. I don't know. You could freeze it into popsicle sticks, and you drink, on the summertime, just sit there and make popsicles out of it. Freeze it in ice cube trays and make it ice cubes for your sangria or something. I don't know. So I guess when it had the caffeine and stuff, people, if you drink a couple of these, I'm guessing it's probably lager yeast based, and so it goes into your system real quick, and people were getting like blackout and going to the hospital and like almost like ODing off of it because of the caffeine. They would just keep drinking because they're kind of hyped up, and then it would hit their system all at once, and it got to be pretty dangerous, especially amongst younger college age kids crowds. Your frat parties and sorority parties and things like that. I think it's easy to get carried away with. 14%, essentially. Let's just call it what it is. 14% is nothing to play with. You can't just play around with that and act like it's nothing. You need to know your limits and have a healthy respect to something. Contains alcohol. No duh. They got that all around. I mean, they got their legal terms based on this. There's 4 3/4 servings, not quite 5 servings per can. So when you drink a whole one of these, you're drinking enough for almost 5 people, according to this thing here. Save the environment, recycle. We ID. Oh, goodness. Let's watch that fizz away like pop. Soda. Depending on where you're from. I think if you're up north, it's pop, I think. Around here, we say both. Both. In Missouri, I say both. With an L. Both. How do you say both? Is it both? 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 I think I've heard up north it's soda. Or maybe it's pop. Is it pop up there? Like Minnesota, Wisconsin? And soda in other places? I think we say either or around here in Missouri. This is like the melting pot. Like Missouri, Kansas, and Iowa is like the main melting pot of the Midwest. You get into the extremities of the Midwest, it's a little more, there's more divergence of context. Golly, it's so sweet. I just turned 44 this month. Don't congratulate me. I don't feel it's not something to be excited about. 20 for legal purposes, 23 years ago, before this was produced, I probably would have been loved this because back then what was popular was your Smirnoff Ice and Smirnoff Triple Black came out not long after that, and all your hard lemonades, your Doc Otis, your Two Dogs. Mike's Hard Lemonade came out after that. The Jack Daniels, uh, Down Home Punch, and Mountain Sipper, and Cactus Juice, and Tennessee Tea, and then all your wine. They were still, I think they may have still been like wine coolers, like Bartles and James. That was like, I think it was still wine based, possibly. That could have changed in the 90s. I can't remember. I actually worked at the Missouri State Fair, and for their margarita machines, they just took cases and cases of Bartles and James margarita flavored wine coolers and dumped them into the margarita machines, and then like a bottle of tequila on top of it instead of buying like the margarita mix, which is kind of smart because maybe they got a really good deal on those wine coolers and they already have alcohol in them, even though they're probably like 4% or so. But I guess, the mix, the margarita mix doesn't have any alcohol in it. I mean, then they pour tequila on top of that. So that made a pretty good slushy margarita, frozen margarita for a state fair, now that I think about it. So, yeah, put this in a slushy machine. That would... Anyway, what are your all's take on Four Loko Gold? Four Loko in general. Does it have one primary purpose, or can you think of any other utilitarian ways in which to use this product? I'd like to hear it. Please leave it in the comments. Because why else is this here? Thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you guys later.